Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Stamp It Up with Jamie. I hope everyone's having a good Wednesday night here. If you're catching the replay on YouTube, or my blog, thank you so much for looking and watching. I appreciate it. I totally forgot to get my adhesive ready, so I was just doing that right now. I had forgotten. So I'm just going to get comments up here on my computer, and then we'll get going. Let's see here. Okay, good. I thought for a second it wasn't working, but here we go. Thank you everyone for your patience and all your kind words with me last week. I was feeling under the weather, just not sick, just not quite feeling 100%. And so I decided to take a sick day, so to speak, for my Wednesday night tutorials. So here's tonight's card, and I'm actually going to be switching it up a little bit for you guys tonight. I know I try and bring cards that are kind of have lots of layers and are a little more dazzled up for you guys, but I don't know, for today I decided to keep it simple. It's kind of what I did 2 weeks ago. I kind of kept it on the simpler side as well. I thought I would just add one more layer to the card that we're going to make today. And then you guys can tell me if you like the simpler version or the one with just one more layer, and you can let me know. So here's the card we're making. It's a thank you card. It features lots of product from the Celebration catalog, which is going on right now as we speak through the end of March. So through the end of the March, Celebration with qualifying orders will earn you free product. So if you open up your catalog, so we're using the lovely Lily Pad stamp set, which is free when you place a $50 order, with the Lily Pad dies, which are free with a $100 order. And then the sentiment actually comes from the Sending You Thoughts stamp set, which is free with a $50 order. So the only thing that isn't free is ink, paper, and then the ribbon. But you could easily leave that off and call it just about a free product card, which is really exciting. Just a reminder again that Celebration is going on through the end of March, which includes the amazing sign-on starter kit special that's going on. You can find that in the back of your Celebration catalog. Just $99 gets you $125 worth of product, along with this super cute mini trimmer and a sampling of designer series paper and a free stamp set of your choice. So that's going on right now. Definitely ask questions if you have any. But if not, I'm going to move on to tonight's card. So my card here starts off with the thick Whisper White cardstock. But I'm going to actually start tonight's card. And I forgot to grab my, there it is, bone folder, with Melon Mambo cardstock here. This is our 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. Hello, ladies. Thank you so much for joining me, everyone. I appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, I should say. I shouldn't just say ladies. It's such a bad habit, really. Then I took, I was going to cut a yellow. Should I do that quickly? I was going to layer this on yellow and I forgot to cut it. Okay, let me get my yellow out. I forgot to do it. This was a very last minute decision because even as I was creating the original card here, I was toying with whether to add another layer. So just give me a second here. I'm going to get my trimmer out and just cut a quick Daffodil Delight. Who has our new trimmer and who loves it? I'm such a fan. If you are searching for a new or improved trimmer, I highly recommend our new one. It's great. Hi, Lynette from Texas. Hello. Okay, so all I did is here I just used our just regular one layer, our thick Whisper White cardstock. Again, if you're looking to keep the card base, your Whisper White, you're going to want the thick one because it stands up beautifully. It doesn't buckle. It just has more oomph to it. Now, if you're just using your regular Whisper White for layering and whatnot, you can just use the regular stuff. So tonight I'm starting off Melon Mambo, and then I took a panel of Whisper White cardstock. I'm going to mat it on Daffodil Delight. This guy here is 3 5/8 by 4 7/8, and then the Daffodil Delight is just an 1/8 bigger, so that is measuring 3 3/4 by 5. And I'm going to adhere one over the other. Hi, Susan from North Carolina. Hello, hello, everyone. I hope I don't run out. No, I'm fine. Is everyone well tonight? Hi, Lori. Hello, hello. From all around the country tonight. Nice. Nice, nice. Okay, so again, I'm just adding this extra layer. It's really not, it's not adding texture. It's just an extra layer. And we'll see. I don't know, because I really toyed with whether to add more to this one. But if you're familiar kind of with my aesthetic, and again, everybody has their own aesthetic, but my aesthetic is sort of clean and simple. Every now and then I kind of jazz things up, but I do really like a simple card. I think that is probably my favorite. Good evening, Kay from North Carolina. Hello, hello. Okay, so then I'm just going to adhere this one over the Melon Mambo. You know what? I'm going to flip it over. Like so. Okay. And well, I guess we can go ahead and layer up. So I am using those lily pad dies, which are gorgeous. And I cut out 3 of these, whatever these are called. These swirls, these whatever, I don't know what they're called, lily pad dies. Let me open it up for you. I already cut them out ahead of time, although we will need these dies later. So I use this guy here, and I just ran them through, and I cut out a Melon Mambo. So very bright, I don't know, they remind me of like berries, I guess. Hi, Lynn. Hello, hello. I know, from Albany. Hello from Albany. You're my neighbor. Hi, Terry. Good evening. At this, what'd you say? At this time of the year, we are starved for color. I know. It makes me crave spring, right? This one here is our Mango Melody. I get Melon Mambo and Mango Melody confused. I kind of get like tongue twisted. And this one here is our Daffodil Delight. I probably would have used our Pineapple Punch, but I am all out of it. I cannot believe I went to go use it, and I'm like, I'm out. I have none. Zip. I don't know how that happened, but it happened. Hold on a second here. I just forgot to get my glue. Did I forget? Oh, I did get my glue out. Here I am looking for it, and I had pulled it out. They kind of look like rain. Oh, there you go, raindrops. Well, wouldn't that be fun with like the Under My Umbrella bundle? I'm gonna have to maybe do that. Thanks, Terry. That's kind of fun. Maybe, yeah. I used them once, and I thought they kind of looked like hearts. But the technical shape, I have no idea. Like swirls, I guess. And I'm going to start with kind of the same way I colored my lilies. So the Daffodil Delight is on the outside. So on, yeah, the farthest out. So here I'm going to adhere the Daffodil Delight at the top. And what's nice about this die is it cuts out the exact width of your card front. If you're cutting a card front in this way, it will perfectly go across, which is super fun and genius if you ask me. So Daffodil Delight first, and then our Mango Melody here. Oops, it's probably gonna seep out a little bit. Hello from Tucson. Hi, Barb. Okay, so Mango Melody. I love these dies. Again, I love something that's kind of a different shape. It's not a circle, it's not a square. It's kind of a fun background to whatever. Again, I'm using it with the coordinating stamp set, but you can really use it for just about anything. Any sort of background. Oops, come on. And then that's the Melon Mambo. I have to think about it. The Mango Melody and Melon Mambo, I interchange them. Hi, Trudy. Good evening. Oh, thank you so much. So I'm working off of this one. And then for tonight, I don't know, I decided to add one more layer, and you guys can let me know which you like more. I don't know. I can tell you I'm probably going to like this one more just because I tend to like less is more. But I don't know. We'll see as we get going. Okay, so next I'm going to create my lily pad here, and I'm actually going to be watercoloring on vellum. So Stampin' Up put out, I think it was a video? It might have just been pictures the other day of stamping on vellum and coloring with the blends. So I thought it was kind of funny because tonight I'm going to do the same, but I'm going to color with an aqua painter, not the blends. So, oh, I didn't mount them. Oh, goodness. Hold on. I forgot to mount I need a block. I don't need this block. I forgot to mount my stamps. So here's the lovely lily pad. This is one of our reversibles. So it looks like you get all these stamps, but you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then you can stamp the reverse. We're not doing reverse stamping tonight. If you're interested in looking at that, I do have another video on my YouTube channel that does use these exact stamps and does use them in reverse. You can check that out. But I'm going to be embossing them, and then we're going to color over them on vellum. So fun. Okay, so to emboss, you need your Versamark, you need your embossing buddy, and then you need whatever color embossing powder you happen to be using. And I just realized, hold on. I don't do a Facebook Live 1 week and I'm all out of sorts. I'm like, I don't even have my heat tool here. Okay, so let's do our lily first because it's the bigger of the two. We're going to wipe our vellum here with our buddy. That gets rid of all the static. Whoops, and that's gonna go flying. And then we're gonna ink up, pull up, and then sprinkle generously with, in this case, we're using white embossing powder. And it's there, it's in a powder form, it's sticking to the ink. I'm just gonna set that aside for a second and do the, hold on. You should see like outside of this camera view, there's like stuff everywhere. Let's do the lily pad. So another piece of vellum, wipe it with the buddy, that gets rid of all the static, ink it up with the Versamark, stamp down. Be careful if you are stamping the Versamark on vellum. Vellum's a little slippery, so it will tend to want to shift. So just be mindful to kind of stamp down and don't wiggle, because you'll get like a smear, so to speak. Okay, so we have lily pad is there. And then our lily, which I just think that's a beautiful flower. I really think that's so nice. And then we're gonna get our heat tool. Done with that. And you're gonna heat, as that goes flying, you're gonna heat until it goes shiny. So as soon as it goes shiny, don't overheat, especially the vellum. Oh, I didn't do the end very well. Don't overheat, just be careful. Just till it goes shiny and then you're done. This heats up, I think, even more quickly on the vellum. Okay, we're good. It's shiny. So that's that, and that's that. Now the colors we're going to be using is, oh, you're welcome. I say it because I've done it before. I like stamp down, whoop, and then it goes everywhere. So our card base here is Mango Melody. However, I'm going to be using Mango. See, I did it. It's Melon Mambo and Mango Melody. However, and Daffodil Delight. However, the three colors I'm going to be watercoloring with are the lovely lipstick, Grapefruit Grove, and Crushed Curry. Crushed Curry because it's just a little darker. I think it shows up better than the Daffodil Delight. Grapefruit Grove because I wanted to, and Lovely Lipstick again because I wanted to. I really started watercoloring, and then when I looked at the finished product, I was like, those don't really look like the colors I colored with, and so I ended up pulling out these three colors because I thought they coordinated just a little bit better. I hope that makes sense. I'm normally a stickler for, if I'm using Mango Melody, I stick with Mango Melody. And if I use Melon Mambo, I stick with Melon Mambo. But in this case, I didn't. I decided to, I thought the end result was actually a little different. So you're going to need an aqua painter. I'm using the more fine tip one. It's pretty much the only one I ever use. I don't use the thicker one. If you do, let me know what you use it for, because I really don't. And we're basically going to, so when watercoloring, you can either take a little bit of a re-inker and just squirt it on one of our blocks, and you can watercolor that way. What I usually do is just kind of press the bottom and the top of our ink pad together, and that gets ink there, and that's what I use to color with. That's usually what I do. And my aqua painter here isn't too wet. It is wet. It's not dry, but it's not like dripping. And I'm gonna start with, I hope you can see. Okay, I don't want to block it with my hand. I'm starting at the lowest part of my lily, and that's where I'm adding the pink here. You'll notice that it's like an emboss resist technique. So even though I'm going over the white, it's completely just like pushing it away. It's not even like absorbing it. It resists it. I guess that makes sense why they call it emboss resist technique. Very fitting. So I'm going only on the bottoms. Hold on. I want a darker shade. There we go. Now we're cooking with steam. There. Oh, much better. So again, I'm taking that darkest color and putting it at the bottom of our lilies. Okay. To clean your brush, I actually want a separate, let's see here. Do I have any white scrap here? Hold on. Ah, as everything falls. Hold on. Okay. To clean your aqua painter, just get a scrap piece of paper and keep going until it, I didn't want to do it on, you can use your grid paper, but then your grid paper will be all wet. So keep going until it goes clear and then your aqua painter is clean. Next I took Grapefruit Grove. Now you want to kind of work, I'm not exactly doing this, but you want to kind of work a little on the quick side because the vellum won't stay wet like your cardstock would. Like let's say your watercolor paper or the shimmery white, it just doesn't stay wet as long. So as you can see, it's almost even, the pink is already kind of dried up now. But as long, all I have to do is add water and it will, all I have to do is kind of squirt this a little bit and it will get more, it'll wetten that up again. So I can keep kind of blending the colors because as soon as it goes dry, it's not going to blend the colors as much anymore. Oh, I forgot one. I forgot this guy down here. Okay. I may have to just use my grid paper. I'm trying to avoid it, but I'm running out of room. Okay, there we go. Okay, next, crushed curry. Let's see here. I need a little bit more. So just squeeze your lid and the back together and that will get you your color here. Again, if you don't want to do that, you can just squeeze a little bit of the rate inker on a block and pick up the color that way. You just need to somehow get color to be able to pick up with the aqua painter. So now all I'm doing is just coloring the tips of my lilies here with the crushed curry, although it does look much more Daffodil Delight when colored like this for sure. Okay, so that's kind of where we are right now. It kind of looks like pink, orange, yellow, which is not really what I want. I want more of a blended color. So just with my aqua painter, I'm gonna start at the bottom and kind of pull the color out and blend it, bleed it, so to speak, all together. Pull it out, pull it out, pull it out, pull it out. And again, it's completely repelled off of the white embossed area. I do want to come back and just come back with some lovely lipstick again to make it a little bit more vibrant, especially in certain areas lower to the lily. That may be up here, it's not very bright, so I just want to add a little bit more of a pink. Ah, my aqua painter is drying up. Okay. Ah, but now it's super wet. Okie dokies. This is what I was trying to grab before. Again, just when you're done, wipe it on a scrap piece of paper. As soon as it wipes clean, you're good. Okay. So that's our lily. It's almost dry. That little bit of water I added at the end is sitting there. While that's drying, let's move on to our lily here. This will go a lot faster. I did pick two greens. I picked Call Me Clover and Granny Apple Green, and I literally just put one color on one side and one color on the other and then sort of blend them in the middle. So this is the Granny Apple Green on one side. It's a lot faster, this one. Call Me Clover on the other side. Throw it on there. And then in the middle, sort of blend. And then if you want to add like a little darker shade, you can just kind of concentrate that on the end. Like so. That goes a lot faster. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Susan. Okay, so that's that. Now, if you're ready to cut, and let's say these are not dry, let me see. That one's not exactly dry. You can just take your heat tool and very slightly, don't overdo it. Just hit it with your heat tool and it will dry the paper up. Ta-da! Okay, so then we're going to use the same dies, the lily pad dies. And this is for our lily pad, and then this one's for our big flower. And using your die cutting machine of choice, I'm not gonna name names, whichever one you prefer, we're just gonna cut them out. So I'm gonna do that off screen here quickly. And cut them out, run it through. And let's see here, we have the lily, and then our lily pad. Run that through. And our lily pad. So what you're gonna see is that, I don't know if you can tell, but they are gonna like kind of naturally curl. Because you're adding water, it does absorb it and kind of warp the vellum, which I actually really, really liked. So if you see my original here, I don't know if you can tell, but my lily is warped. Like it's definitely like kind of puffied up, and then the lily pad as well. Especially the lily pad's really curled up. But I actually really liked that because I thought it added some nice texture and made it a little bit more 3D. So you're gonna, I made a stitch circle. This is our Stitched Shapes dies. That's a tongue twister. This is the largest circle just cut from the Whisper White cardstock, regular cardstock. And we're gonna need dies. There they are. Okay. So I just kind of eyeballed it how I wanted them. So I had some semblance of an idea as to where I was putting these down. And if you're not going to use your dimensionals to adhere them down, I would strongly recommend like a tear and tape, just because they are going to want to curl, and so snail just wouldn't cut it. You need something a little bit more permanent. As the case with vellum, you can sort of, well, I guess on camera it doesn't show it, but you can see the dimensional there. So I kind of strategically covered it with one of the petals from the lilies here. Come on. The lily, I'm using 2, and I actually might put a 3rd down depending on how it looks, how it holds. So this guy was super curly, so I put another like mini dimensional right here just to hold this kind of petal down. This one, I don't know if I need to do that. He's not curling quite as much. Okay. So that's gonna go right there. Let's stamp the sentiment quickly, because if I don't do this right, we're gonna have to come up with a plan B. Again, the sentiment is from the Sending You Thoughts stamp set. This is another celebration item. It's free right now with a qualifying order of $50 or more. This is great because it's got like double sentiments, one that you can use from the outside and one that you can use from the inside, which I think is super fun. And although this was colored with the lovely lipstick, I am going to stick with the Melon Mambo and stamp the sentiment there. And whenever I'm using a cling stamp, so not photopolymer, not one that I can see through, I always do like a little tester on my grid paper, because sometimes the stamp or it's cut not even, and so you're looking at it this way going, oh, that's straight, but when you stamp it's like completely crooked. So I always do a little bit of a tester ahead of time just on my grid paper. And yep, this one looks pretty straight on, so I don't have to worry about that. And I'm going to stamp that in the corner here. I decided to keep it sort of out of the way. I don't know about you, but sometimes when I'm stamping, I come up with this beautiful card and I'm like, oh my goodness, I didn't leave a spot for the sentiment. So that's kind of the case with this one. So I decided to tuck it down here. I had originally thought of stamping it on the stitched circle here, but I don't know, the lily kind of took up all the room, so this was sort of a last minute decision. I did use Stampin' Dimensionals to adhere the circle down as well. I think, actually, no, I don't think I did that. Oh, no, yeah, I did. Okay. I forget what I did. So, let's see. I'm going to use a bunch. Let's use 4. Peel them off. Oops. I may have to put another one. Well, maybe not. This one, you never quite know which way it's going to curl. And this one's curling quite a bit, that one corner. Okay. So, aim for center. Easier said than done, but I think that's pretty, it's pretty good. Okay. And then lastly, I did add a bow because why not? Just a daffodil. I think this is the ruched ribbon, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if it's labeled on here. It doesn't say. I think it's called ruched ribbon. This is in the January to June mini catalog. So I did a fork bow because if it's ribbon and anything other than twine, I use a fork because I can't tie a bow to save my life. So I literally keep this fork in my drawer, my craft drawer. So if you're not familiar, I'm sure most of you are, but to do a fork bow, you start in the front and then wrap some ribbon around in the back. If it's still on the spool, you need the end, the open end on the back, if that makes sense. And then you're gonna, so a friend taught me, and I literally do it in my head every time, of the song Over the River. So over the river, so you're gonna go over this ribbon, and then through the woods, you go in the middle of the fork. And then holding that in the back, you're gonna take this piece here and then go up the middle where that first one went. So you have your 2 bows here and then the back. And then at this point is, I snip it. I don't usually snip first because I don't want to waste ribbon. Well, I try not to waste ribbon. Sometimes I do, but I really try not to. And then in the back, I just tie a knot. Just 1 knot. And then pull tight like that. And then when you slip it off, you get a bow. It's the only way I'll do, with like thicker ribbon, it's the only way I'll do a bow. And then just fix your tails because usually they're not even or cut the same direction. Like that. Although that's the problem, then that one looks longer, right? Oh, that's like significantly longer. Ooh. Okay, hold on. It's like the heart, right? You cut one side and then you're like, oh, cut the other side and you're like, oh, and then before you know it, you have like no tails left. Okay, so kind of fluff it up because it does get a little flattened. Oh, thanks, Karen. I don't know if it's perfect, but it works. So this is what I do when I'm gluing down a ribbon. I take my liquid glue. Oops, how'd that get there? That's really bothering me. Hold on. Before we do that, I got to slip a dimensional in there because it's like crazy popping up. Hold on. Of course, right now I can't find my minis. Is that my minis? Nope. Okay, I'm going to have to use just like I don't know where my mini dimensionals are. I'm going to take a little piece here. And I'm going to tuck it under like there. It's just like it's really, I don't know if you can tell, but it's like really sticking up there. So I just want that down a little bit more. There we go. Okay. Much better. Okay, I feel better. That was really bothering me. Makes it so easy and the tails are both on the back. Yes. Yes. Thank you, Susan. That's like one of my bow pet peeve, and that's why I usually only do a fork bow, because I like the tails on the back. That's so funny that you noticed that. Okay, so when I'm gluing down ribbon, you could use a glue dot. I find liquid glue really holds it down and does the trick. So let me just figure out where I want it, like here. So I squirt my glue like a big dot, and then I take my bow and I situate it, and then I take a block and I literally just plop it on there. And then I walk away, and then when I come back in like 20 minutes or a half an hour, it's nice and dry and it's like on there, like it's not going anywhere. Sometimes I feel with glue dots they kind of wiggle a little bit, Whereas with the liquid glue, it's like, it's there. It's not moving. So, okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's our card for tonight. Let me know which one you like better. Here, that's what that one looks like. I don't know. I kind of am torn. I kind of like them both. But, yeah. So if you've been watching and you haven't left some sort of a comment and you would like a chance to win tonight's card, quickly go ahead and do that. Just write anything. It could be an emoji if you want. And then I'm going to throw all your names in a hat and then pull a name for someone to win tonight's card. Just let me know which one you want, whether you want the white one or the Melon Mambo one, and I'll pop that in the mail for you. If you have any questions, certainly let me know. Thank you so much for joining me tonight, and I will see you next week. Have a great evening, everyone. Good night.